Hey there, Alex here. This is the new KZ EDC. It costs around $9 which is more expensive than the KZ EDX and TRN MT1. And the cable isn't even removable. But it's actually an interesting pair of IEMs from KZ. The reason is simply the tuning. This is actually somewhat neutral sounding, which is surprising for a pair of IEMs from KZ. The EDC has a bit of bass boost and a slight tinge of warmth, but nothing too overwhelming, which is good because it's not the tightest or most textured sounding bass. Lower mids have a decent amount of body and presence in the mix, so male vocals sound pretty good to me. Upper mids have just enough elevation for female vocals to not sound recessed or anything like that, but it sort of just falls off after around 4 kHz, followed by a small dip around 5 to 7 kHz. I feel like it could probably use a bit of elevation in this region since female vocals sound a little lacking in presence here, and some instruments like cymbals can sound a little splashy. But on the bright side, the EDC doesn't sound shouty or sibilant to me. There is a bit of elevation around 8 kHz, but it's pretty subdued, and upper treble is rolled off. Technicalities are just okay for the price and nothing noteworthy. Detail retrieval, staging, imaging and all that stuff are just okay. Tonality and timbre are not amazing, but probably more natural sounding than most other cheap IEMs with a V-shaped tuning. Compared to the TRN MT1, which has a V-shaped tuning, the EDC has less bass, upper mids and treble, so they're less fun sounding. But on the other hand, they do have fuller mids and they're more prominent in the mix, so vocals don't sound as thin or recessed on the EDC. Technicalities are maybe better on the MT1 due to its tuning, but the EDC does sound more natural to me. Cable-wise, if we are just talking about the stock cable, I actually like the cable on the EDC a bit better. It's less wiggly and looks kinda nice too. I think the more relevant comparison is probably against the Moondrop Quarks, which is another pair of cheap, relatively neutral sounding IEMs. Both of them have similar amounts of bass, but the EDC sounds a bit warmer here, probably because of the slower bass. While mids do sound a little fuller on the EDC, I think the Quarks have slightly better clarity. There is less elevation around 3 kHz on the EDC, which is a good thing since I find the Quarks to be a bit shouty. However, the Quarks have a bit more energy in the treble region, which helps female vocals and some instruments sound a little more natural. Overall, between the two, without any form of EQ or modding, the EDC is more comfortable and relaxed sounding to me. But I think that technical performance is better on the Quarks, and it's not that hard to tame that slightly shouty upper mids by using EQ or some extra filters. That said, the Quarks are a little more expensive, especially if you don't have extra filters lying around, so the EDC is still a good alternative. The tuning on the EDC probably won't impress most folks at first listen, because it can be a bit boring sounding. So for folks looking for cheap earphones, it's easier to recommend the EDX or MT1, since they're cheaper, more fun sounding, and you can swap the cables. But I just can't help but like the EDC because it's a tuning that I totally did not expect from KZ. Thanks for watching this video, and see you guys on the next one.